email that
Good
this is an
morning. Good
email
morning.
that
It
Frank sent
is
out.
Friday week in review. It is 7/18/2025. I'm Frank and I'll be your host. And also we have Richard, who is the CEO and co-host. And we had a wonderful time last night. What you see on your screen right now is a follow-up of what we did last night. A good leader leads by example, and the example that we have is just go ahead and hit on that private golden link. You don't need. Okay, cool. What we're going to do is we're going to play a review of what happened last night so that you can see what we can do for you. um, James Gilmore hit a grand slam. He scored the winning point, and Frank got the assist. We're going to put it on a little bit of a high speed so that we're able to get through it quickly. But let's go ahead and get it started. And I'm going to sit back and just enjoy. And I hope you
I'm
enjoy as
going to
well.
start it and stop me if you can't hear the sound. I'm pretty sure you can, but well, let me make absolutely sure with this last. I thought it was about to go. Okay, let's go.
Good evening. This is Frank, and I'll be your host this evening.
Oh, it's
It
real quiet.
is 7/17/2025, and this program is going to
Is
be
it just sound low?
Turn it up a little.
Okay.
for Oliver. Oliver has a great investment vehicle.
Is that a good sound?
That's
No,
better. Yeah.
it's so quiet. It's so low.
What did you say, Frank? James?
It is too low.
I
Not
hear
loud
you,
enough.
but what is James? Can you hear? What kind of volume are you getting?
It sounds pretty good to me.
Okay.
Frank, may need to boost.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
And ezFinancial has a great way of financing that vehicle, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're waiting for a few other people. Richard, if you'd like to play the who we are, that would be a really great thing to start off with. Let people know who we are and what we do.
We make absolutely sure we can share the sound. There you go.
Welcome to ezFinancial, where we've been making dreams come true for more
Now, where
No
did that
video.
picture go? Sorry about that.
than 40 years. Our goal is to help business owners seeking money to grow their business. We are part of the business and real estate finance industry. We help businesses find and procure financing from business financing sources. We help businesses of all kinds: retail, commercial, industrial, real estate, franchise, service businesses, construction, and many more. Most of our clients are business owners or real estate investors. Whether you are building your business or building just about anything that requires a hammer and nails, we can help you finance your project. We bridge the gap between business owners and business finance. Your local bank is happy to have your checking and savings accounts, and they will be happy to give you a credit card. But when your bank says no to your business loan, who are you going to go to? Over 100 financing sources of all kinds have vetted us and choose to register us as an approved loan broker. Not every financing source handles every form of finance. They have specific programs that they focus on and want to see. They share their areas of focus, their guidelines and requirements, their applications, and other forms, and other information, so we are able to present a well-researched and prepared underwriting package to multiple lenders that meet their specific requirements and interests. We try to find worthy clients and projects that might not get funded without our assistance. Our goal is to work to clarify their needs and goals, try to improve their credit profile, and the profile of their project, complete all the underwriting required, and build a funding package that will meet the high standards of lenders we already know and trust to complete a successful funding conclusion. Pursuing a step-by-step approach, we create a funding package that matches precisely what our lenders are looking for. In many cases, we can present to several lenders, each of whom would be a perfect match. Our work means our clients are more likely to get better rates and terms, and it means better odds for a successful funding. We do not charge upfront fees on funding projects. Our consulting fees are only billed and due when a successful funding project is concluded. Otherwise, no fees are due. Most people don't pay much attention to their credit until they need it for a specific purpose. So most clients would benefit from a better score, better rates and terms, larger loan amounts, and special promotional offers. We offer several services specifically addressing credit issues. Most of these are offered by trusted third-party specialists who can dramatically improve credit profiles when needed. Our clients either pay them directly or through us. These other services are priced in advance and agreed to in advance with specific goals and procedures detailed at the time. Together with our lender base, our broad and extensive experience in the business finance industry gives our clients solutions they never thought possible.
Wow. Richard loves to get out of that screen real fast. I love to leave that screen up so in case anybody wants to jot down our phone number, they could do it. But everyone is going to come to us either through Oliver or through James. James is the one I'm going to appreciate here. James is the one who made the introduction to Oliver for me. So when you guys are making all your millions of dollars, just remember it was James who brought me to the table to help you guys out. So
Thank you.
so just remember that. So Oliver, I would like to start off by just having you give me like a real small taste of what it is that you do. You don't have to show me anything. Just give me a little bit of a taste, and I want to show how I can fit in to your picture.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Frank, and thank you, Richard. Thank you, James. I involved with the current company since January this year, out of basically a very bad situation. In the last 5 years, I've been involved with crypto business, and without going back to what happened in the last 5 years. So when I was introduced to this current program, which is BGWell Sharing Group, which is working together with DSJEX, which is a trading platform, crypto platform, which is just recently, last week, DSJEX just got a licensing from SEC, which is, to me, that's is a very heavyweight recognition. And basically what this two company does, they have a 10 years contract. DSJ is a consulting company, which is provide the know-how, the technology in the real in the world of Bitcoin trading. And there's some, I don't know how many crypto right now right there, but the original crypto, of course, is Bitcoin. So we only trade Bitcoin. And based on what we so far been getting, they never promised guarantee or anything, that's basically prohibited by law anyway. But based on what we got so far, is like minimum 1.2% profit per day, based on whatever your last balance of your capital. So let's say if today the balance of my capital is $1,000, for example, and per trade is only being traded 1%, and the minimum profit for that trade is ranging between 60 to 65, but I'll always say the lowest is 60%. 60% is because we trade twice per day. That will give 120% of 1%, which is equal to 120% of 1%, which is equal to 1.2% of your capital. And this is how we earn money daily. So as long the members continue to trade every day, it's automatically the money will be compounded daily, unless the person withdraw the money, for example. But let's say if your goal is my goal is a long term, I probably will continue at least for the first 2 months trading up. And basically, based on my personal calculation, every 60 days, your money should be double, right? If you don't add more money to it, and you don't withdraw any money to it, practically will double every 2 months. So for example, if somebody started with $1,000, that money in about 12 months will grow to about 84,000, something like that, more or less. If you want to make it very short, very clear cut, about 80,000 every 12 months. So that's basically, I'm not going to all the how it works, but as far as the numbers, that's basically how it works. So every 2 months you double your money, and if somebody looking for long term, I would say don't touch the money at least for until you quadruple the money, and then if you really want to enjoy it after that, it's up to you. So basically that's the nutshell, Mr. Frank.
Well, that's wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, and that's what excited me when we first met. Was it makes so much sense to me to be able to step in and help you. Now,
Okay.
there was a question that I had, and the question is, how much money do we want to start with? Do we want to start with 1,000? We want to start with 20,000, 10,000? What would you say the average entry level is?
When I was starting it in January, the company BGWell, basically the maximum amount of money allowed to start with 5,000. In my situation, because I was coming from a desperate situation, I asked a special permission to put 10,000. Okay, I put $10,000 not because I have a lot of money, but I have some crypto that's already been saved in my wallet for a long time. I was determined I need to cash in this crypto, become my capital, so I can immediately at least earning $120 a day. I figured out if I can hold off for a month or so, I will be able to withdraw maybe like $200 every day or $1,000 every week. Basically, that was my goal. But as of today, ladies and gentlemen, that money grew to what? Right now, I still have about 50,000 in my wallet, in my trading account, and I already withdraw about 25,000. So you put the number together. Basically, that's reality. So I have about 51,000 right now in my trading account, and I have withdrawn 25,000. So that's how powerful the program is, and it just money keep adding to it. So I would say if I right now the company allowed to put 20,000, right? Although in the beginning 5,000. Now they allow you to put 20,000. And after you pass your 60 days, meaning you already double your money. And if somebody want to withdraw, fine. Or if they want to add more money to it, the company allow you to put whatever amount. I mean, reasonable amount, of course. So, for example, if I have access to funding right now, I'll put that 100,000 in if I have, but I don't have it. So, to answer your question, Mr. Frank, 20,000 is the maximum right now to start with.
Oh, there you go. That's where I was going. All right. So what I've heard from you is you can double your money in a relatively short period of time. You can start with $20,000 at one time, and you, after it sounded like 60 days or more that you've been in it, then you can increase that to whatever number that is comfortable for you. Is that
Right.
everything? Okay. All right.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
So here's how I see the two companies meshing. With ezFinancial, we have three different vehicles, actually four, but I'm going to just talk about the first three. The fourth one I'll talk about later on. But one of them is called a PTL, which is a personal term loan. One of them is unsecured business funding, UBF, and one is unsecured personal funding, UPF. We deal with people all the time that are trying to raise as much money as they possibly can to buy real estate, to buy businesses, to expand businesses, whatever their goal is, or whatever their dream is. We like to make dreams come true. We like to help that person realize the dream that they're looking for. So and I'm not talking about you guys just yet. I'll get around to you guys, but right now I just want to talk in general investors. What they'll do is they'll go to their bank. Maybe they've been with their bank for 20 years. And then they say to the banker, I would like to get a business loan for $25,000 because that's what I need. I need $25,000. And what do you want it for? Well, I want to start a business. And generally speaking, the banker will tell them, well, you go ahead and you start the business. Come back in 2 years after the business has proved itself, and we'll give you a business loan. What? That is absolutely not what a new business needs. The new business needs the capital. So they come to me. And when they come to me, they say, Frank, I have a franchise that I want to buy. And this franchise is going to cost me $20,000 or $25,000. And I'd like to borrow $25,000 to start this franchise. And Frank is going to say, no, not a good idea. Because if you try to get just what you need and not a cushion to get you through the hard times, to get you through 6 months of building your business up, if you do just what you need, the chances are you could fail. Now, not so much with a franchise, but practically every other business. The SBA, Small Business Administration, says 94% of the businesses fail within the first, count them, 2 years. So that's why your banker told you to come back after 2 years. And if you're still alive, then he'll give you the money. But if your business is out of business, well, he didn't wait. He didn't lose any of the bank's money. We take a different attitude. We take the attitude, don't get just what you can get by with. We want you to look for 6 months. What is going to take you to get through 6 months? Why 6 months? Because you have to weather the storm. You have to live. You've got to put gas in your car. You've got to do other things. So what we really strongly suggest is you don't come looking for the minimum, thinking, well, if I only ask for a little bit, I'll get it. No, it's actually opposite. If you ask for too little, you won't get it. And not from me and not from other people. Because if you ask for too little, it shows that you don't have any understanding of business. Business is always needs money. Investing is a business. So it always needs money. So what I suggest everyone to do is to get the maximum that they can get, or at least get enough money to carry them through 6 months. If you do that, if you come to me and you say, Frank, I need $20,000 to invest with Oliver, and I say, okay, and what else are you doing with the money? Well, I'm going to put it in a savings account and I'm going to do, okay, great. That's wonderful news. I definitely want to help you. And so here's how we do it. We have, as I mentioned, three. Yes, we have four. The fourth one, I'll talk in a little bit. So we have three. We have the unsecured business funding and unsecured personal funding. It is unsecured. It's secured by nothing. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Many companies want to know, what are you going to do with my money? I'm going to lend you the money, but what are you going to do with it? I might not trust what you're going to do with it, so I may not give it to you. With ezFinancial, we don't do that. We don't look over your shoulder. Actually, no one is looking over your shoulder. I'm going to say something really crazy, and I hope you don't do it. But you could take the money and go to Vegas with James Gilmore and just blow it all. You could do that, and nobody's going to stop you. we don't recommend doing that. What we do recommend is finding a good safe investment that you can make money. So what we do is we set up three things. If you have a business entity, that's any business entity, if it's brand new, or if you intend to hold your assets in an LLC, for example. A lot of people, by the way, I'm not a financial planner. I don't give financial advice. I'm just telling you what other people do, and you can do that. This is my disclaimers. I'm not SEC licensed. I'm none of those things. I'm just telling you what other people do. I have to be careful about that. All right. So let's get back to what people do. People like to take the money and they like to put it in a safe place. Safe meaning they'll put it into an LLC or they'll put it into a trust, but they won't put it in their own name. The reason for that is if you start making a ton of money and somebody wants to sue you, if you don't have anything, they can't get anything. If your LLC is set up in such a way that they can't see who you are, they can't sue you. Now, I'm not an attorney either, and I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just telling you what other people do so that you may want to think about that. You may want to consult with an attorney. You might want to consult with a financial planner. But I think if you do, they'll probably tell you it's a great idea. If you're going to expect to double, triple, quadruple your money, you also have to expect the unexpected. You have to expect the things that you wouldn't even think about day in and day out. So you need to do that. And if you do that, then what we suggest is you start an LLC of any kind. We can assist you with that if you want to. We have programs as little as $495 to do to structure an LLC for you. You can do it yourself. You don't really need us, or you can go to an attorney that'll easily charge you $1,000 or more to structure an LLC. We suggest that you do that, and then you get an EIN number. And we suggest that you do that about the same time you apply for money from us. The reason is because it only takes a couple of days to do that, less than a week. And it takes like 14 days before you start seeing results from our unsecured business funding. Now, I'm only talking about business. You can also do unsecured personal funding. You don't need any of this, but you're taking a chance. You're taking a chance. People, if you start making a lot of money, you pay more attention to yourself, you start living the high life, people, and bad things happen. And so I'm just saying that it's good to protect yourself in the beginning. If you protect yourself up front, then when those bad things happen, they don't affect you. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just let you know, just open your eyes, let you know that you should have protection. Okay, so let's say you decided to go with just one of the three that I mentioned. I mentioned unsecured business funding. I mentioned unsecured personal funding. I mentioned personal term loan. I suggested that you get the maximum that you can. I will tell you on these two, the unsecured business and unsecured personal, you can do both of them. If you do both of them at the same time with one application, if you do both of them at the same time with one application, you can get as little as $50,000, as much as $150,000 to $200,000 with just those two. The third, and I'm just going to tell you, I'll be completely transparent. My average client walks away with $75,000. So hold out your left hand. We're going to drop $75,000 in your left hand. What are you going to do with it? You're going to be wise. You're going to be very wise. You're going to be careful. You're going to do the things that you need to do to protect yourself, and you're going to invest with a solid person like Oliver. Okay. And obviously, he told me a minute ago that you can't put the whole $75,000 in there. So that's kind of good. You have a reserve. What's the reserve for? To get you through 6 months. So you don't know what you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what's around the corner. We don't have a crystal ball. So to protect ourselves, we're going to have 75,000. Now you're ready for anything. The third one I said was a personal term loan. This is quite different. There's very few people that are doing what I'm about to say, and it's kind of amazing. You know what? I skipped something. Let me back up to those two. What if I told you that when we do these two, I'm going to let you make money on my money. I'm going to let you have that 75,000 at 0% APR, 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. So in 12 to 18 months, answer this question, Oliver. In 12 to 18 months, in your humble opinion, do you think they'll be able to pay that $75,000 back?
Absolutely. More than they're able.
Okay. And how much interest is they going to have to pay?
You say zero.
Zero.
But how could it be? That's my question.
0% interest. And what's the fee? I'm glad you asked that question. With a very modest 9.9% one time. And when do you have to pay that? Up front, of course, right? No. When we get the money for you, we will invoice you. And from the money that you already have in your left hand, we'll ask for you to pay our invoice, which will be 9.9% of whatever the number is. It'll be 9.9% of that number. And that's very, very low in the industry. You get to pay that amount of money out of your pocket. No, not out of your pocket, out of the money that we put in your left hand.
Mm.
So is it sounds pretty good so far?
Sounds very good to me.
All right. Well, then the last one I'm going to talk, not last, but pretty close to last. The third one is a personal term loan. This is very personal. We will absolutely pull a soft credit pull on you. We will absolutely check what your credit scores are. The first two that I said, we have to have pretty good credit scores. We have to be in the 680s or above FICO scores to qualify for this 0% APR. And I'll tell you other details that you'll need because it's not for everybody. It's not throwing money away. We're careful about who we lend it to, but we have solutions. Not everyone's going to qualify. But for those who don't qualify, we have a way to help them to qualify. But we'll talk about that in a minute. The last one I wanted to say is the personal term loan. Whatever you can justify with W-2s or 1099s or tax returns, whatever you can justify as your annual salary, $50,000 or above. 50,000 is kind of the bottom line, the bottom floor. I've done 40,000 before, but the company likes it tipping around 50,000 or above. Will match your annual income in 3 to 5 business days. So 5 days from tomorrow, 5 days from Monday, you could have in your bank account, direct deposited into your bank account, your whole last year's salary. Let that sink in. If you need it, go for it. If you don't need it, then just keep it in the back of your mind because you're going to be surprised when you start investing and you start having money, other opportunities are going to present themselves. If you have it in the back of your mind, I know where I can get the money to buy that business, to invest in that, whatever. You know, the opportunities are going to come to you. Opportunities are attracted to successful people. So you don't, if you think you could use your whole entire last year's salary, and there's only 5 things that you need. You need to be living in the same place for 12 months. You need to be working at the same job for 12 months. You need to have documentation of how much you actually made, and you have to have a 650 or above FICO score. And I forgot what the last one was. You can forgive me, please. There's only 5 things that you have to qualify for it, but you will qualify. On this one, it's pretty easy to qualify if you just do those things. So I've given you several different ways that you can get enough money to invest with all of it for sure. You know, from 20,000 up to 100,000 or more. I've already given you 3 different ways that you can invest. Now, the last one is what we call last chance finance. If you don't qualify for the big money, the premier, our flagship products, if you don't qualify for our flagship products, you may still qualify. And that is with last chance finance. We have a company that will give you anywhere from $5, $10, $15, $20,000 that you could qualify for, and you could get that money. And with Oliver's program, if you invested $5,000 with Oliver, from what I'm hearing, Oliver saying, what I heard last week when I first talked to Oliver, if you have the $5,000, you can quickly build yourself up to the big numbers. That's it. The process is relatively simple and it's very fast. That one there, the last one that I just told you, is instant. You get an instant decision. And if you need a small amount of money, if you need debt consolidation, if you need whatever, last chance finance, that's an instant. Either it's an approval or a decline, because you're not even talking to me, you're just talking to a computer. So that's really quick. The personal term loans, it's between 3 to 5 business days. All you have to have is those 5 pieces of information driver's license was the last one. Driver's license front and back. Okay, that's number 5 that I forgot. All you need to have is those 5 pieces of information, and in 3 to 5 business days, we can have the money transferred into your account. On the unsecured business funding, if you already have an LLC set up, or if you already have an EIN number, it could be as little as 14 days. If you need us to help you get an EIN or an LLC set up, It's only a matter of a few days, like 3 or 4 business days. We can have that set up, and it's only $495, so it's very inexpensive. And the last one, personal term loan, again, you have to be 680 or above. So if you have that, then we're good to go. And here's the problem. Most people don't know what their score is, or they don't check it daily. We have a program, and it's called Easy. It's called Bitly, bit.ly/ Easy Credit Report. And for $1, we can get all 3 credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, all 3 of them. We get all 3 of them for $1. You get a 7-day trial. We can look at your scores. We can get you funded. And if you like the service that they have, we have a discounted price. It's normally $39.95 for $29.95. We get a volume discount because we do a lot of these. So for $29.95 per month, you get $1 million worth of identity protection. You get identity monitoring, where they send you an email if anything changes about any of your credit reports. And they have a score caster where if you just need to come up a few points, maybe 15, 20 points, they have a way of doing a what if scenario. What if I pay off this phone bill? What if I pay my rent early? What if I pay down my mortgage? And it tells you what you should do to raise your score instantly a few points. That's all built into that for the $1 or the $29.95 per month. There you go. Any questions? I mean, you were really quiet, and I thank you so much because it let me get through that thing in a very short period of time. So any questions?
Frank, this is James. That last thing you mentioned about the credit report, they also do something for you with the black web, don't they?
The dark web.
The dark web.
The dark web is if you've ever bought anything online and you filled out and you put in your name and your email and your credit card and something terrible, and maybe you didn't get what you ordered, or maybe you did get it and it was terrible. A lot of those people sell your credit information on something that's called the dark web. The dark web is 99.9% scams. So when they sell it onto the dark web, you will get hundreds of phone calls with all kinds of crazy, wonderful deals. But that's a great way to lose everything that you own. And this company that I mentioned monitors the dark web. And if they find your name on the dark web, they get it removed and they let you know about it. That in and of itself is worth $29.95. Thank you, James. That was a good point. Any other questions? Any questions about what I said?
I have a question, Mr. Frank. Let's just talk for myself right now. I formed an LLC last year. I have everything, EIN and everything. I even have a DBA for it, but it hasn't been in operation. Can I use that?
Absolutely, yes. What you do is you go and you look for the Secretary of State. They all have an online portal, and you look that up, and you just see, is it in good standing? If it says it's in good standing, whether you've used it or not, if it's still in good standing, then the answer is absolutely yes. Okay. If it's not in good standing, just find out what you have to do to make it in good standing. It might be you just have to file a report saying, I didn't do any business last year, and therefore I didn't pay any taxes because I didn't do anything. And that might be the solution. And worst comes to worst, you could get open up a different LLC under a different name. But yes, absolutely, you could use that one.
Okay.
Rashida, I believe you had a question. If you want to unmute yourself and ask the question, we can hear you.
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, this is Marvel Montenegro. How long would it take again to set up your own EIN and LLC? Did you 3 to 5 days?
If you wanted us to
Yeah,
get
correct.
you, okay, yeah, it's under a week. Under a week, you'll have everything. You'll have your own EIN. You'll have an LLC set up.
Okay. All right. Can we have your information again posted?
Richard, would you put up on the screen the information, please? Don't be afraid. They love you, Richard.
Yeah. Another question. For these type of loans, what about if you're self-employed?
That's an excellent question. If you're self-employed, you certainly can do it. No question on the unsecured personal loan and the unsecured business loan. On the personal term loan, you just have to double everything. You have to put 12 months working at one location, 12 months in one job, and potentially 12 months. You're not going to get fired tomorrow. You have another 12 months that you're going to work. And that's a W-2 employee. A 1099 person just has to double that, make it 24. So it just means that you have to lived in your house for 2 years. You've had to worked at your job, whatever it is, for 2 years, and you have to have the potential for continuing to work in that job or that field for the next 2 years. Just double what I said. And it's still $50,000. If you've earned $50,000 and you can prove it with your tax returns, then we can match that $50,000 that you earned last year, or whatever you earned last year.
And what would be your debt to income ratio, DTI?
There is no DTI. This is unsecured.
Oh.
It's secured by nothing. It's secured by your name. So okay. So what you're saying is how much credit do you have? Whatever. It's not debt to income. It's the credit ratio. You need to be under 50% credit ratio. Meaning, that was an excellent question, by the way. If you had a $10,000 credit limit, you couldn't be more than $5,000 of utilization, credit utilization. If you had a $20,000 credit limit, you couldn't be more than $10,000 or 50% utilization. We have ways around that also, but that's a good question. That was an excellent question. There was another lady had their hand up, or somebody else had their hand up.
Rashida.
Yes, yes, thank you so much. So, question that I had, I'm glad to hear about all of the different funding options that you have, that they sound very great. And I was just wondering, I know you mentioned credit score requirements for certain things. Do you have the ability to segregate funding opportunities by the credit bureau? Like, let's say if someone is working on their credit and one credit profile may be better than another, can you segregate lenders who, work with specific bureaus, or is it comprehensive, like you're going based off of your all three bureaus?
No, we're based off of all three bureaus. And what you said is exactly correct. There are some companies out there that will just like put blinders on, and they won't look at Equifax, which has a bankruptcy. They'll just look at TransUnion and Experian, and they won't look over there because there's a bankruptcy over there. But no, we are completely honest. I've been in this business for over 40 years. I've been doing what we're talking about right now today for over 20, probably 25 years. What we're talking about right now. One of James's customers remembers me from 20 years ago. She was on one of my calls 20 years ago. Yeah, so we've been doing this for 20 years. It's not new, and I understand what you're saying. Some companies will do that, but if you get caught, the downside is if you do it like that and you get caught, they can call the loan immediately, meaning you have to pay the whole thing back at one payment, which would put most people in a lot of trouble. Wells Fargo was doing that. I had a lot of problems with Wells Fargo, where they just simply call a loan, and it was, put my companies out of business because you had to pay everything back tomorrow or 30 days. You had to pay back everything at once, one smack in 30 days. And I don't know any company that can actually survive after that happens to them. So no, we don't do that. We are completely above board, honest. We play by the rules. We don't mess around. We do have some ways that we can get around little problems, but we're not going to mess with big problems like that. But thank you for the question. It was a good question.
Thanks.
Brandon has a question.
Brandon, unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. This is Brandon.
Let's go,
thank you for
Brandon.
thank you for the explanation of the two programs, the UPF and the UBF. That we know that's a combination. Then you get the LLC get set up by your company with $499. In 14 days, they will have the funding. Let's say $75,000. They can have the option to enjoy 12 to 18 months with 0%. Now, the fee will be 9.9% one time. It's only paid when they receive the money, not from their out pocket, right?
Correct.
All right, that's the first option that we already make it clear and everybody understand. Now, let's go back to the personal term loan. With the personal term loan, we're talking about the people who will have by 680 or more or above to qualify, and they do have 5 elements that you ask for, right? They have a W-2, they have to live in the same address for 2 years, working same job for 2 years, and have the document to prove that they had the income of last year, let's say $50,000. Now, I do have people, but they fall into 2 categories. The number one, they don't have 680, including myself. I'm very, very serious about FICO score, right? The second thing is most of us, we don't have we kind of the 1099, we like working at the as a networking, so we don't have company, we don't have employment record that we work for the last 2 years. Can you help people like us?
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you have do you pay taxes? Do you have proof of what your income was? Because that was part of it. You have to have proof your income of 50,000 or more.
Okay, so let lock it at 50. What if people only have, like, let's say less than 50? Let's say they only have 35. The rate still, as long as they can prove.
Well, 35, we're talking about the personal term loan. It's a different thing than the other two. So let's talk about the personal term loan. The company wants to stay at 50,000. I've done 40,000 before,
I
and
see.
30,000. I think that I might have a hard sell to get the company to go with 30,000, unless you were doing the other two as well. I do combine all three of them many times. I'll combine all three of them. I'll do an unsecured business loan, unsecured personal loan, and the personal term loan. I'll do all three with one application. I'll do all three, and at that point in time, then the company will say, okay, because we're doing the other two, and it's going to come out to 100,000. We don't care that it's only 30,000. But if it was all by itself, I don't think I could get it. Well, I always try. That's
Right.
one thing you'll
So
find out about me. I'll always try.
right. So you say that we combine the three programs together, it had a better leverage in front of lenders,
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
right?
Now, what Richard has on the screen, I want to say two things. One, you talked about paying it back. The unsecured business and unsecured personal, when you pay it back, it's only 2% of the outstanding balance. That's not 2% of what we got you. It's 2% of what you've spent. So if you got your 75,000, but line of credit, and you only spend 20,000, all you have to pay is 2% of the 20,000, not the 75,000. So that's number one. The next thing was, you said you, and I didn't quite understand whether it's your wife or your partner, has less than 680 FICO. What Richard has on the screen right now, we've been doing since the early 80s, 1981 or two, somewhere in that area, where what we do is we help people get their score up rapidly. If you were going to do a big investment and you were going to get a lot of money, you wanted your score to be over 700, and you wanted that to happen in under 30 days. The bottom one, the second one from the bottom, that says credit sterilization. We can get rid of bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, repossessions, IRS tax liens, student loans, medical bills, even child support. We can get rid of any of those negative things. And then if you have positive things on your score, such as a car payment, such as a house, or even rent, that you pay rent, we can get that to look as a positive. The absence of negative does not necessarily equal a positive or a rate increase. You need to have something positive on your credit report, such as a car, such as your rent, such as your utilities, such as a mortgage, those kind of things. If we get rid of the negative and we have the positive, then your score can jump up into the high sevens in under 30 days. If you don't have these, we have trade lines that we can put on there that will bring it up to the low sevens. So we have ways to work with that. That credit sterilization is one of the more expensive ones. That does cost $2,595. And if you stand to make thousands and thousands of dollars, like big investors come to me all the time about this, where they want to buy a hotel, and because of a problem that they have, they're not going to be able to buy the hotel. Well, I put them through this sterilization. In under 30 days, they're wiped clean, and they're able to buy the hotel. And the $2,595 was a drop in the bucket. The next one down takes a little bit longer. The credit restoration, the one in yellow, that takes a little longer. It's $189 down, and it's $89 per month. It takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months to get you up over the 700 threshold. But nobody, I want to be crystal clear, nobody can promise you a number. If they do run away, they're not being truthful with you. And I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say we do go up. And then the credit counseling is the slowest one. The next one, if you want over $100,000 line of credit in under a year, the next one down, the business credit builder, we will start from no business whatsoever, and we will take you by the hand and guide you step by step by step, all the way through from no business whatsoever into getting $100,000 line of credit by the end of the year. And in addition to that, in line to be able to borrow in the millions of dollars, because we'll set you up correctly to make you bankable, so that when you have a big deal like a hotel or like an apartment complex or like any big adventure, we can get you set up so that in under a year, you're going to be bankable to get those big types of loans.
All right, so I see that your 4 options here, but I'm really try to focus on the red one, the credit stabilization. That is timing, like 30 days. Let's say that will cost less than $3,000, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Is that going to be like upfront fee, or is that going to be negotiated to the back end? because we know, you know, that we need the funding. We need to go, whatever we prepare here at this step is to go get a funding. Can we get it back end? I mean, right aside the contract or something, you know, to route for the back end when we have it set up and ready for funding. You know, when we work together, you have your portal to know when and how we get the funding, right? We had the contract and, you know, between us and your lawyer team. Think about it, Frank. That option, I will have a lot of people looking for the credit segregation. I mean, it's not about the cost. The service that you just say is exactly what we need, because a lot of people have negative in their profile. But with your help up to build, you know, up to, you know, above 700 to the high 700, that's exactly what we're looking for. We're 1,000 people looking for that.
Well, that was a very smart question. That was probably the best question of the night. Yes, a lot of people are going to want that. And the way to get the big money that I'm talking about is to go to that one first. If you go to that one first, and in a very short period of time, I'm going to brag a little bit right now, if it's okay. I hope I have your permission. I've had it sometimes done in 14 days where the people come in with a train wreck and they've been working on their credit themselves for 2 years and with little success. And in 14 days, I was able to get them over 700 FICO, and they were able to get everything that they wanted after that.
Yeah, because they're not expertise of what they're doing. You have the expertise, you know, professional lawyers who know how to go through with the legally and ethically documentation to implementation, certain things that can wipe off the negative and, you know, building the better profile for their corporation. Because the two programs, the UPF and the UBF together, it still need a good FICO score. So I think the step we're talking here, the credit serialization, is the very first thing to do after the LLC. You can get the LLC anytime, right? 3 days. But the serialization had to be done first. Then people sign the contract. Yeah, they say, okay, I'm gonna enter to your program, and we binding those conditions in there, so people know after the serialization they need to go with the UBF and UPF, or maybe with the PTL as well, because they already have the better looking in front of the lenders based on the two program combination and the PTL as well. Is that a good plan?
That would be an excellent plan. I think I'm going to hire you. That's it. That's exactly right. You got it. You nailed it. You nailed it. Perfect.
Yeah. So Frank, that sterilization is an upfront one-time $24.95. Is that correct?
It's $25.95, but who's counting?
Right.
And
okay.
It's one time upfront, and we could make it into a pay plan if we had to, but that's a discount. That is a discounted price to get to that $24.95. So the pay plan would be 2 or 3 payments.
Why don't you stop the recording now? Because we want to wrap it up.
So let me ask you this, Mr. Frank. The credit sterilization, let's say I apply for your program today, and then
let him finish. Let him finish what he was about to say.
My credit is a mess. Technically, I'm not qualified. Then I apply for your credit sterilization, and after that, should I reapply again after my credit being repaired? How does it work?
Yeah, well, Brandon said it exactly right. You would come and you would get that credit sterilization first. And so we'll do it this week, you know, starting Monday, we work on it. And then let's say that you're the miracle child and it takes 14 days, okay, not 30 days, it took us 14 days because you were the miracle child. Remember, the absence of bad credit does not necessarily constitute good credit. You have to have some good credit. So when you tell me your credit's a mess, I have a big imagination, so I don't know what a mess looks like. We'd have to pull a credit report, and James knows how to do it. He'll pull a credit report on you which is a soft pull. It won't have any effect on your credit at all. And when we see that you have a number of good payments and some bad things that happen. Now, you know, I said it before, sometimes bad things happen to good people. You know, just because something bad happened, it doesn't mean you're bad. It just bad things happen to good people. So if we see a bunch of good stuff and a bunch of bad stuff, when we get rid of the bad stuff, the good stuff takes off. And if you don't have enough good stuff, we can add some good stuff to make it take off.
That's the beautiful part. That's the beautiful part. If you don't have a good one, the company have a way to put, you know, put stuff there like a, you know, a trade line and, you know, a lot of good stuff that in front of the lenders that look fundable, you know, because they're not, you know, bank, they're not give away money, they loan money, right? They want to make sure you have a way to pay back, right? Am I right, Frank?
That's correct. Brandon, I swear you're going to have to come to work for me. That is another way that we work around it. What we do is we get somebody that we call a credit partner. So let's say, Brandon, you knew somebody who had very good credit, but they didn't necessarily want to be in your business with you, but they had very good credit. So what you could potentially do is, first of all, get your LLC. Once you have your LLC and your EIN, you make that person an advisor, a consultant, a
All
board
right, this
member,
is
a
a good
janitor,
time to stop.
any part of your company, you
Richard.
make him part of your company. And he has a 720 FICO.
This would be a
I'm
good
sorry,
time
what?
to stop.
Okay.
Bring it on back to the screen. Stop sharing your screen. There you go. Anyway, today, I've been talking about this, I guess, for the last 6 months. And James Gilmore was listened, and he set up an appointment with a very large investor group. And I did the presentation. The Oliver was the head of that group, and Oliver was giddy. He was so excited because that particular I wasn't trying to sell you on that particular company's whatever they were doing, whatever they're invested in. That's not the point. The point was any investment, real estate, insurance, any people, any group of people that need money, franchise uh, owners, any group of people. I can do a RIA group, obviously, that's the biggest one. Uh, what I can do is I can do the presentation for you. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to wait till you have 40 years experience. I got the 40 years experience. I can do it for you. And this is what James did. James simply set up the appointment. It was a two-stepper. He first introduced me to Oliver last week. I did the presentation with Oliver, just Oliver. And Oliver was like totally blown away that all of this, all of the things that we do, all of the tools that we have that help people become successful, he was totally blown away. So then they scheduled their meeting for last night, which was their regular meeting, and they invited me to come into it. Now, it was supposed to be a 30-minute meeting, and it ran an hour and 19 minutes. That's why I had Richard put it on high speed to play it back to you on high speed. I don't normally talk as fast as I was talking on that video. The point behind you seeing the video is a good leader leads by example. This is the example. James Gilmore hit it out of the park. He probably put on, I'm going to guess, 10 or 15 people are going to sign up for that program. And those 10 or 15 people know 10 or 15 more. So that one presentation hit it out of the park for James Gilmore. He's going to be a superstar now because of doing that. This is what I'm saying for you. If you bring me to a presentation, a RIA group, a real estate meeting, an investors group, home-based business, any of those kind of things, and especially home-based business, by the way, they will love getting the money because nobody wants to give a home-based business any money. So, and especially not 6 months worth of money so that they can survive. But we do startup businesses all the time. We're specialized in startup businesses. So the point was not what you saw. What you saw was the result. The point was whatever you can bring me to, you can be the hero. You didn't, I think you may have heard, I don't remember if you heard it or not, but I said, when you guys make your millions of dollars, remember who brought me here. It was James Gilmore. The reason I said that is because, and then also towards the very end, I said, get back to James Gilmore, and he has all of the information for you. The reason I said that is because all of those referrals, all of those customers, all of the sales are going to go to James Gilmore. How much did James Gilmore do? One thing. He reminded me about the black web, which it's not a black web, it's a dark web. So that was the one thing he did. One thing, one sentence. That's all it took. And from that one sentence, he's going to have years of repeat business. Years. One time. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for you. Brenda, you showed great courage when you went and you got before that RIA group. You did great courage. Now, what we want you to do is get me in front of that RIA group, and I'll be talking about you the same way I'm talking about James. That's all I got, guys. Anyone have any questions?
There were some questions during the thing. We were going to do this now. Ron, you brought up a good question early on. Why don't you don't forget to unmute? There you go.
I realize now that, that was a replay. I didn't know it was a replay as it was going on. I understand a program that they're doing. I would be very interested in that program. I was in a program like that and made a very good return, high yield investments. So I had a couple questions about their program. But yeah, so I'll contact you personally, Frank, and we'll talk about that.
Watch this. Watch this, everyone. Contact James Gilmore, and he'll hook you up.
Yeah, James is the primary contact with Oliver, and he can get you in touch with Oliver right off the bat. I feel the same way, Ron. The fact that they only invest in Bitcoin kind of puts them in a category away from all the people who are pushing different types of cryptocurrency. It puts them on a different level. So, it's certainly something to look at. Any other questions?
If you could, Richard, if you could get Gilmore's information and just put it in the chat box so that everyone can get a hold of Mr. Gilmore who wants to do that. My point here again is, Ron, when you bring me to your mastermind club and you make me do the presentation for your mastermind club, I'm going to be talking about you the same way I was talking about James, and the same way I'm going to talk about Bernice. Put me in the front of the room on the overhead projector. Put me there, and I will do it for you, and you will be the hero. I'll just
Amazing. Frank, can we introduce Lynette? I think Lynette's on the phone today. Lynette, are you on the phone? Can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Hi, welcome. We're so
Hello,
happy
everybody.
you're here.
Thank
Lynette,
you.
you're kind of a famous recluse from our point of view. Nice to meet you. Very
Thank
nice.
you. Nice to meet you all as well.
Where can we catch the replays of these trainings? Lynette looked on YouTube, but she couldn't find anything.
Well, I'm putting everyone in the autoresponder, the AI autoresponder. So if I send out a Fox to Lynette and she fills out her information, it'll go to the autoresponder and she'll be able to go back and get all of the library of all of the different presentations.
Videos. Okay. Thank you.
And the Fox, I've sent you the Fox, and you can forward that Fox out to anybody. Everyone who got the Fox, you can just forward it out to people that you want to get involved in the company in any way. And if they fill in their information, like their first name, their email, and the phone number to get in touch with them and who referred them, they go into our automatic drip campaign, and then automatically they'll be invited to all of the presentations. You don't have to do any more work. Let AI do it for you.
Amazing.
Okay. And by the way, did you get the inference, Alma and Gail, that I was talking about you ladies doing the um,
The credit.
the EIN and
Oh,
the
yes, yes,
restoration and all that? You got that, huh?
yes,
Cool,
yes, yes.
cool.
Thank you.
Good
I'm
deal.
thinking about you, both of you.
Thank you, Frank.
All right. Any other questions before we wrap it up?
No questions for me. Well, I have questions for you and Richard, but I'll get in touch separate.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
I was just making sure that I'm receiving the Fox thing that you're asking about, Frank.
I couldn't quite hear what you said, Casey.
I wanted to be sure that I am on the list to receive the Fox, I guess the emails that you sent.
Okay. I think I have your email address. I will send you the Fox. You just fill it out and then you'll be on the AI. So we'll never forget to send you an email again.
Okay, thank you.
All right. God bless.
You're
All right.
welcome. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
And be safe.
Hello. Bye.
Spend some. Yes.
Yes, have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Y'all be good.
Okay. Bye. Bye-bye.